Welcome back to Titan Academy. In this video, we will cover how to download a file from Salesforce. There are a number of ways in which this can be done. What I'm going to cover in this video is the inputs that are needed and how to set up an action to download a file. In my sample project, I have added a lookup to a contact object. I've added a table that displays a list of files that are attached to the selected contact. In the table, you notice I've put a download link, and if we go into the table, go into the mapping, that download link is an action. Behind this is an on-click action that sets a variable and then downloads the file. Let's take a look at how we get the information that we need for that. The query on this table is of the files object. The conditions that I set are the first published location ID is equal to the selected contact's ID. And in the mapping, I've added a column called hash value. In that column's properties, I deselected the show column box so that it's not displayed to the end user, but that hash value is there behind the scenes. Let's go ahead and take a look at how that looks. If I preview my project, I'll select the contact, Andy Anderson. I know this contact has files added. Click Apply. The table displays the list of files. If we look in the debug, if you want to turn debug mode on in the builder, go to the gear right here, go to tools, make sure debug mode is enabled. It's very useful. In our project, we can click the debug button. A debug window will open showing us variables and various things behind the scenes and what their values are. If we scroll down, we can see the table and all information is displayed, including the columns that are hidden. If I scroll all the way over to the right, I can see that this is the hash value. It's this big, long code that's internal to Salesforce. This references a specific file. It's this value that we need to get and pass into an action to download the file. In order to do that, we will need a custom variable to hold that hash value that's selected. Go to your gear, go to Tools, go to Custom Variables. Static variables, click Add Static Variable. I've already done that here. I added one called hash. This variable can hold values that we pass in and out. Now we need to assign a hash value to that variable and then conduct a download action. So in my table, again, this is done in the table in the mapping. You could also do this with a button or in several other ways, but this is just one example. In my table, on the download action that I've added, I go to my on-click action, the action editor opens. First thing we want to do is add a node, variables interactivity, which I've added. In this, we want to set the value of our hash variable, and we'll set the value from our table, which I named TBL files, the value of the selected column, hash value. What will happen when the user clicks on the download button on that table on any particular row, the value of the hash of the record that was selected will be passed into this variable right here. We click Next and Save. Then we want to add an export download node. In that node, we will select from the various options download file. It's an important distinction between download attachment and download file. You want to select download file, and you must pass in a hash value. This is stored in our variable hash. Click Next. Go ahead and click Save. Apply. Apply. Save it again. I'll go ahead and preview this again. So let's select a contact that we know has attachments. I'll select Bob Blogs. I know there's attachments on that record. Click Apply. Our table brings back 2 files. I'll go ahead and click on Download. Let's download Lorem Ipsum 3. That will download to my desktop. And here it is. And that is how it's done.